I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. This is a PayPal request from Fan of Eli. Thank you so much for that. If anyone's ever interested in sending me a request of pretty much any type of video via PayPal, you can do that directly down below in the info box, or you can do it by joining my Patreon, which there's certain tiers for certain things. Either way is perfectly fine. But again, they'll be in the info box down below. But the review for today is the Outlaw Josey Wales, a 1976 Western directed and starring Clint Eastwood as a guy who's a farmer. He wants to get away from the Civil War, and his house is burned down and his family's killed. He gets sliced in the face, and in an interesting different way, the Union did it. What I mean by that is a lot of times when they deal with the Civil War or that era, usually the Union, the Blues, the good guys, and the South, the Confederates, are the bad guys. And in a way, this kind of made that a bit more of a gray area, which probably more truthful. I mean, do you really think everybody in the Union was good and everybody in the South was bad? Nah. So yeah, I thought that made it a bit interesting. And him and these other guys, including John Vernon, who was in Savage Streets, Animal House, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. They're part of this posse to set things right. After the battle, they're told to surrender. Clint Eastwood doesn't do it. The other people, they get killed by the Union anyway. And Josey Wales rides in and he kicks ass using fucking Gatling guns and shit, killing a bunch of people because, again, they're killing people reneging on their deal, telling them, give us your guns and you'll leave peacefully, and lying about it. And then these people are hunting Josey Wales. And it seems like on his journey, he's picking up more and more and more people as his journey that goes from point A to point B. That's a good gist of the story. Now, I've said in the past, I'm not really big on Westerns, but I will say, I think Clint Eastwood is one of those guys that knows how to handle it fairly well, because I really enjoy High Plains Drifter. He didn't direct them, but I enjoyed the Sergio Leone trilogy. Especially, I would say For a Few Dollars More is probably my favorite of the three. I have to think about that. And there's been others, but yeah, a lot of Clint Eastwood Westerns I've enjoyed. Maybe it's just Clint Eastwood's demeanor, his delivery. And he's a very competent director. Very competent. He gets good casts. Like here, he gets people like Chief Dan George. I mentioned John Vernon, among other people. Once again, Sondra Locke is in it because Sondra Locke and him were a thing, and he had to put her in every fucking movie. And I don't hate Sondra Locke. It's just, does she have to be in every single film? Like, there's nobody else. I know that you two are a thing, but like, come on, man. Again, very weird to see nowadays when they split, it was not a healthy split. Let's put it that way. But Clint, he's really good at the framing of the camera and depiction of the characters. Can come up with some really good lines of dialogue. I mean, I guess, I'm trying to think what's my favorite piece of dialogue. When someone goes, "Get ready, lady. Hell is coming to breakfast." Or, "I reckon so. Guess we all die a little in that damn war." And it might not sound much, but the way it's delivered, the way it's said, I'd probably say my favorite is when he comes across these soldiers and Clint goes, "You don't pull those pistols or whistle Dixie." He's like, "Pop, pop, pop." And maybe because Clint Eastwood learned a thing or two from Sergio Leone, not stealing, but to get enough information, but yet make it his own. And maybe from other people he's learned. I guess I'm trying to explain in words what makes Clint Eastwood westerns work so well, including the ones he directed. Maybe Eastwood just feels very comfortable in those roles and situations. Maybe he's put his cap on of audience participation, goes, okay, at a certain amount of time I gotta have an action scene here, or something the lead character does that's badass, and then at the same time also have a little bit of drama, but it doesn't get into melodrama. A little bit of humor, but it doesn't get too silly. So you have some of the stuff with the old Cherokee Chief Dan George. I thought he was a pretty likable character. He had some fun things, but it wasn't making fun of Native Americans. It was in tone with the character. Another memorable moment is there's this bounty hunter that comes in, one of my favorite scenes, and the guy realizes it's Josey Wales. And the guy mentions how he makes a living doing this. And Clint says something to the effect of, "Dying ain't much of a living, boy." And then the guy leaves, but then he comes back, says, "I can't leave." And Clint goes, "Yeah, I know." Pop, pop, pop. He really knows how to build up tension in certain sequences. Or like when you get to High Plains Drifter, some of the crazy ideas that work well, like the figure telling the people to paint the town literally red, and it's hell. Again, that's a fun one. I mean, that's a damn good one. And then this, I think I reviewed High Plains Drifter. I believe I did. But yeah, this one, I'm trying to think if I really have any issues. Not many. I mean, Sondra Locke, again, she's not bad. It's just her and her grandma are part of this group, and then Clint Eastwood goes in to kill them, and then they try to have like a little romance. I'm like, again, you don't need to fit this in every movie, Clint. I mean, granted, to be fair, they don't go a tremendous long time on that plot point. But at the same time, I'm going, is this really needed in the story? Not really. Not really. But the finale's satisfying. He does get his justice. I like the bit where he's chasing the guy and then he takes his pistols and he's just dry firing as sort of building the tension. And, you know, for the guy, is the next one going to, no, it's the next one, no, it's the next bullet. And then he gets like 2 more guns firing. And you gotta understand, this is 1976. You know, it's a Western, so you're not going to get anything graphic like fucking heads being cut off or heads exploding. So, if you know that mindset, you know, the way it's done in the action scenes, I thought I handled well. I didn't, within the first 20 minutes, Clint Eastwood was using a fucking Gatling gun. like I said, don't expect fucking Rambo 4 or even The Island with Michael Caine when he's firing on the pirates, da, 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 which was really cool. My favorite bit in there's a 1980 film called The Island with Michael Caine, and yes, there's a point in the finale where he gets a 50 caliber, killing the pirates. That's a badass scene. Love it. What a reason why I like that movie with Michael Caine. And yes, it's The Island, not the Michael Bay one. Although I do like that one as well, but I'm going off tangent. So, it's not going to be that bloody gory. But for what it is, it's pretty damn badass still. And Clint Eastwood does a good job. The cast do their jobs well. There's a couple other recognizable people. If I can... Let's see... I could not remember all the names directly. I mean, I mentioned Chief Dan George. I'm trying to remember what he was most famous for. I want to say it's, yeah, Little Big Man, which no one remembers that film, but that's the movie that Dustin Hoffman got a lot of, talked about a lot. I think he won an Oscar for that, Dustin Hoffman, Little Big Man. But yet again, that's a movie that no one ever talks about. And yeah, I would say that and this are the films he would be remembered the most. The main bad guy is Bill McKinney. He was the sadistic mountain man in Deliverance. Other people, you have Sam Bottoms, who is an ally of Clint Eastwood early on. Sam Bottoms, if I remember correctly, I reviewed a film a month or two ago with him in it. Yeah, Hunter's Blood, which that review is on the channel. He was pretty much the main guy in that. And he was good in that, and he was good in this as well. He was also in Apocalypse Now, Bronco Billy. Bronco Billy is another Clint Eastwood film, which I have not seen that one. Don't know if that one would be my cup of tea, but I know there's a couple other people I recognize. Oh, Roy O'Donnell has a bit part in the third act. It's not a long part, but Roy O'Donnell, I remember being one of the main characters. He was the older, like, father, uncle character in Ghoulies 2. He had a supporting role in Killer Comes from Outer Space, as well as, I think, Space Invaders, that 1990 or so movie where the green Martians come during Halloween because they think it's an invasion, but it's the Orson Welles. Also, Will Sampson, who is in Poltergeist 2, he makes an appearance in this. But yeah, overall, I thought this was a pretty decent flick. I don't really have much issues with it. I thought the pacing worked fine. Clint Eastwood did a competent job directing, and overall, I think it's a fairly solid movie. I liked it quite a bit. So thank you once again, fan of Eli. Thank you guys for watching. Take care. Sorry it's a shorter video, but it's a film that speaks for itself. If you haven't seen Clint Eastwood movies or westerns, give them a look. I think some people will be surprised, even if you're not big on westerns. Clint Eastwood just has a certain vibe to him in his movies. That even though they're westerns, in a way they feel modern. I don't know in particular the reason for that, but this is a certain feeling about him. Maybe there's more articulate people that could explain that. But either way, thank you once again. Thank you, fan of Eli. If anyone ever wants to send a request of pretty much any type of video via PayPal or to join me on my Patreon, the links to both will be down below. Thank you guys. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.